Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, we're gonna have a little update on the Ukrainian front. Unfortunately, we have only the Ukrainians who answered yes, sir, when I asked them for an update. The Russians were, or they were depressed like I am. Okay? Some very good peach wine, sweet, very good. Dessert wine, very good. So let's go and use the Ukrainians' narrative and the Russians' map in order to see what's going on the Ukrainian front. Let's go. It's only rock and roll, and I like it. Ukrainska Pravda. Russians unsuccessfully tried to regain lost positions on 3 fronts. General Staff reports. This is from August 13, 2023, Sunday. On Sunday, the Russians made unsuccessful attempts to regain their lost positions on the Bakhmut, Shakhtarsk, and Zaporozhye fronts with a total of 24 combat clashes over the day. So, Bakhmut, Shakhtarsk, and Zaporozhye fronts. Let's see where those are. Ram pam pam. Okay, the Bakhmut is right here in the middle. Then you have Shakhtarsk here. And you have Zaporozhye here. So basically they say, well, they need to regain in this area of the front. They don't talk about what's going on up here. You see that little thing over there? That's not good because the Ukrainians ordered a total evacuation, about 50 settlements in this area, including Kupiansk. And if this falls, according to experts, the Russians were gonna go here, and then from here they will go to where? Where do you think they're gonna go? Come on, right here. Pam pam pam. They're not gonna go to Kiev. They have nothing to do over there. They send missiles if they want. So let's see what the Russians are telling us. Is this the one? No, this is the one. Source. Let me put it this way. So. Ram pam pam. Oh, take my glasses because I can't read without glasses. When you look at me, I can look. I need glasses to read sometimes when it's too small. But hey, it's not about me here. So let's see what these guys are saying. Source: General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Facebook. Information as of 1800 on 13th of August, so 6 p.m. Details: over the past day, the Russian occupiers launched 2 missile strikes and 24 airstrikes and carried out about 40 attacks using multiple launch rocket systems on the positions of Ukrainian troops and settlements. Unfortunately, these Russian terrorist attacks have resulted in, civilian casualties, tralala, children, hospitals, schools, kindergarten, and all that. A total of 24 combat clashes took place over the past day. The situation on the Volyn and Polisia fronts remained unchanged. So what these guys are doing, they usually start with the general summary, and then they will start with the north, and they're going to go northeast, east, southeast, south of Ukraine. So let me show you on the map how are they going to conduct their beautiful update. See, they're going to start right here with Belarus, at the border of Belarus. They start and then go here in Chernihiv, Sumy, and Kharkiv. Then we go to Luhansk, Donetsk, they go to Zaporozhye, and then they go to Kherson, and then go home. All right, so let's go back to the Ukrainian thing. Hey, you're talking to me? Are you talking to me? I thought so. Smack you. Anyway, on the Sivershchinya and Slobozhanshchinya fronts, the Russians carried out mortar and artillery attacks on more than 15 settlements. In particular, Halahanivka, Hremyach, and Novovasilivka. Chernihiv Oblast, which Chernihiv is the north, Volivnia and Turia in Sumy Oblast, and Okhritseve and Okrip and Budarki in Kharkiv Oblast. So as I said, they are talking about this area of the front right here, these 3 oblasts, Pavao, Chernihiv, Sumy, Kharkiv. They're talking about this one. I'm not going to read the Russians' bullets because these are from the 11th. The guys take long weekends. Okay? So let's go back to the Ukrainska Pravda. On the Kupiansk front, Kupiansk is where I showed you that little, where they have the massive retreat or what do you want, evacuation. On the Kupiansk front, the Russians conducted unsuccessful offensive actions in the areas of Avdivka, Kharkiv Oblast, Kamyanska, and Kislivka, Kharkiv Oblast, were subjected to Russian artillery and mortar attacks. Nothing. Now we go a little bit south to Liman, and then we're going to go Bakhmut. Let me show you on the map where all these buddies are. Okay, so here is Kupiansk right here, and then we're going to go here. This is Liman right here. Where are you, baby doll? Right here, Liman. So they're going to talk about Kupiansk. Then I'm going to go to Liman, and then I'm going to go to Bakhmut, which is Artemovsk by the Russians. Then I go here to Avdivka, right here, and then I'm going to go to Marinka. Artemovsk is right here. Okay, so when you are going to hear me mentioning these names, you will know exactly what I am talking about on the map. Okay? All right, let's go back to me. In Kupiansk front, I already said, supposedly just artillery. And on the Liman front, a little bit south of Kupiansk, the Russian troops carried out airstrikes near Bilohorivka in Luhansk Oblast and Vesele in Donetsk Oblast. More than 10 settlements in Donetsk Oblast were hit by Russian artillery fire. On the Bakhmut front, down. You remember in Bakhmut, the Ukrainians said that they are attacking on the flanks, north and south of Bakhmut, but not the city. Well, it seems like it dead. On the Bakhmut front, the Russians carried out unsuccessful operations to regain lost positions south of Avdivka and west of Yahidne, Donetsk Oblast. The Russians carried out an airstrike in Donetsk Oblast in Klichivka. They bombarded more than 15 settlements in the Donetsk Oblast. Now we go a little bit south of Bakhmut, which is Avdivka. On the Avdivka front, cheers, Norok. Very good, very good. I didn't make it, but I'm planning of making out of some these guys. Okay, I make only from grapes, but I will expand. So on the Avdivka front, Ukrainian defenders successfully repelled Russian attacks near Avdivka, Donetsk Oblast, while under constant aircraft and artillery fire by the Russians. The Russians carried out an airstrike near Avdivka, and then they hit with artillery fire around. We go to Marinka, which is south of Avdivka. The Ukrainian defense forces continue to hold back. So when you hold back, that means the other guys try to push you. All right? You dig in. Continue to hold back Russian troops' offensive near Marinka and Donetsk Oblast. The Russians carried out an airstrike over Krasnohorivka in Donetsk Oblast. More than 10 settlements in Donetsk Oblast were hit by artillery fire. The Shakhtarsk front. Now, the Shakhtarsk will move a little bit towards Zaporozhye region, and I will show you where that is on the map. So we talk about, as I said, Kupiansk, Liman, Bakhmut, Avdivka, Marinka, and now we go right here to the Shakhtarsk area right here. And then we're going to go to this part where the counteroffensive supposedly occurs, but nothing happens. And then we're going to go to Kherson Oblast right here. So we are talking about this area here in the south, southeast. So in Shakhtarsk front, the Russian troops made unsuccessful attempts to regain lost positions. They launched airstrikes and over 10 settlements, including Vodiane, Vuhledar, Bohoyavlenka, Zolota Niva, in Donetsk Oblast were shelled. We go to Zaporozhye front, where the counteroffensive occurs. The Russians made unsuccessful attempts to regain lost positions. They carried out airstrikes. The Russians bombarded more than 15 settlements and Zaporozhye Oblast. That's it. We go to Kherson Oblast. On the Kherson Oblast, or Kherson front, the Russians carried out an airstrike near Zeleny High, Kherson Oblast. More than 15 settlements came under Russian artillery fire. including Kherson, Zolota Balka, Veletestke, Stanislav, Komishani, and 2 more settlements in Kherson Oblast, and Ivánivka, Mykolaiv Oblast. Well, Mykolaiv Oblast, let me show you where that is. All right, let's get the thing right here. So Mykolaiv is right here. So I'm assuming this is the Mykolaiv Oblast here. So, right, so this is the Kherson Oblast, and here's Mykolaiv. So they must have done something in this area. And that gets me back to the the last part of the update. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian defensive forces are continuing to conduct offensive operations on the Melitopol and Berdyansk front. That's where I show you the Zaporozhye. They try to cut in two so they can divide the Russians, and had partial success in Zaporozhye Oblast, reinforcing their positions and carrying out counter-battery operations. Over the past 24 hours, the Ukrainian Air Force conducted 10 strikes on areas where Russian military personnel, weapons, and equipment were concentrated. No civilians. In addition, they struck 4 Russian anti-aircraft missile systems. During the day, Ukrainian rocket forces and artillery struck 2 artillery pieces of their first firing positioning at an anti-aircraft missile system, an electronic warfare station, and air defense systems. That's it. Well, what was so hard? Well, it wasn't so hard. I mean, when you got this next to you, nothing is hard, right? Except something else. Not the case. We're busy here. All right, my friends, I'm disappointed that the Russians seem to take days off at Sputnik, the one that I use with the update. But hey, it is what it is. So the update is the Russians are trying, the Ukrainians supposedly are trying in Zaporozhye, the other ones in Luhansk, Donetsk, and Kharkiv. And this guy supposedly, I covered in a video prior to this one, the Ukrainians supposedly opened a new front in Kherson, in the south, by Crimea, but it was all wishful thinking in my assessment. These guys did not even mention that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.